Things are heating up for Google Stadia, and I would say it's just doing exactly what the weather's been doing lately. But as I sit here next to my window, the wind is howling, the snow is falling. I don't know what the hell's going on, but here's what I do know is that Stadia has launched the latest community update with the new pro games for March, and well, there's a couple bangers on there because guess what? There are 3 games they are giving us. Yes, for the first time, they're giving us 3 games. We're gonna go over the pro deals that are still live, and we're gonna be talking about a couple games that may be nearing launch date as well as we get towards March. And we're just going to talk a little bit about Spitlings and what's going to come up for the rest of the week. So let's get into it. Before we get started, of course, if you are interested in news, analysis, reviews on Google Stadia from yours truly, don't forget to click subscribe, get yourself notified so you can stay up to date on my latest content and when I do my live streams because, well, unless you're really following every single little thing I do on YouTube, it's the easiest way is to find out by notification, as long as you know YouTube sends those things out. But without further ado, let's talk about the biggest news of the day, or at least of yesterday. That was the new pro games, part of the community update that Google launched over on their community page, and this is what they had. And well, to the surprise of nobody, of course, the 2 Steamworld games that they announced last week are a part of Stadia Pro. Now, a lot of people, myself included, were kind of speculating if they're going to be in addition to, instead of just, a part of the Stadia Pro free games that we always get every single month. But this isn't a bad move, of course, because guess what? It's 2 of 3 games we're going to get, and I think they added a 3rd one in there just in case because Steamworld is definitely a very unique and niche game, and it might have rubbed people the wrong way if that's not their thing. And I haven't played it myself, and I'm definitely looking forward to trying it out, especially because I'm definitely interested in Steamworld Heist, but we're going to get to that in a second. So the 2 Steamworld games we are going to be getting is Steamworld Dig 2, which is a platforming style game, and of course we're getting Steamworld Quest Hand of Gilgamesh, which is more of a role-playing card game. I'm definitely not too interested in that game. Of course I'll try it, it's with pro, and one of these pro games that we've had at this point I've definitely tried, and it's not a game I would have typically bought, and I'll get to that one in a second because there's some news about that game I'm referring to at the moment, and that would be Farming Simulator. But these games that we get every month with Stadia Pro, it's a good way to see if that style of game works for you, and obviously it's a low cost, and there's such a huge value to Stadia Pro, and that's another thing I'm going to jump into in a second. But let's talk about that 3rd game coming, and that is Grid. And this is, I think, big news. Now, if you've paid attention to just gaming in general in terms of games that go on sale typically over on Steam, or games that are often, released for free on the other platforms, Grid really should not have surprised us. But for me, it did because, well, the price point would be for one, and it just seemed like a game that I don't think anyone was really truly thinking about. We're looking at something more like on the level of Kine, and I'm not saying Kine's a bad game or anything. I'm just saying the financial level when it comes to how much it costs, and because the Tomb Raider games are on the cheaper side, so we got those. So I mean, Grid is obviously a huge surprise, but I was more enthralled with the idea of having Grid because it is one of the games that showcases what the cloud can do for gaming. And a lot of people, when they look at Stadia, are like, okay, Steamworld's come to Stadia, what do they need Stadia for? Like, how's that showing the power of Stadia? And that, I think, is the wrong way of looking at any new game that comes to Stadia, because this is meant to be a console. Like, this is supposed to be like an Xbox in the cloud. It's supposed to be like a PlayStation in the cloud, but more powerful, always evolving. Now, you're going to need those kinds of games a part of your library. That's just the way it works. And they're trying to make this a console just like any other. They need to have a robust library of genres that are just there for everybody. So while I may not like a role-playing card game, I know tons of people that are in the community that love this kind of thing. They are so excited for Steamworld Quest Hand of Gilgamesh. And because of that excitement, I'm excited too because I'll get to try it, a game that I normally wouldn't have done so with. Now, Grid, the reason I'm so excited for that and the power it can show is that Grid has a Stadia exclusive feature, which is the 40-car race. And you've seen this in action over on Cloud Gaming X with Sunny, and it's something you saw during Stadia Super Saturday. It's an awesome feature because it's not something that can be handled within a console or even over on Steam, because it just requires so much and the cloud can pull that off. So having a game that shows off a Stadia exclusive feature is a huge power move on Google's part, and I'm glad they offered it because it's a game I've been eyeing, and it's a game I'm definitely ready to try out. And of course, if you are looking at this image, which you have been this entire time, right now you will have access to 7 games come March 1st, because if you happen to be lapsing before then, or maybe you're about to start subscribing in terms of maybe you got a Buddy Pass or a Premier Edition on the way, Farming Simulator 19 is leaving the last day of the month, which is Saturday. I do believe they do that pretty early, so if you are looking to pick that game up for free, better do it soon because it is leaving. I believe that is the oldest game on here, not including Destiny, in terms of what's been here the longest. I'm not sure if that came with Thumper. I don't remember off the top of my head, but so right now, starting March 1st, you'll still be able to claim Grid, Steamworld Dig 2, Steamworld Quest Hand of Gilgamesh, Destiny 2 The Collection, Guilt, Metro Exodus, and Thumper. And I want to say this again because it needs to be said again. Thumper is a great game. Try it out. And it's a great way to test that latency part of Stadia and what it actually is all about. Now, I want to segue into this because it kind of piggybacks off of the Steamworld games. Now, this is coming March 1st. So we got announcements for Steamworld 1, Dig 2, and then Steamworld Quest Hand of Gilgamesh, and then Steamworld Heist. Now, my assumption here is that we're going to be seeing all 4 games launch on Sunday. Now, if we were, I would hope they would have said this, but maybe that's something they're going to hold off until maybe Thursday and let us know. Or maybe they'll just drop them in the store and be like, hey, here you guys go. Because as far as I know, we have no inclination that they actually are coming. But it would make sense. I mean, I wouldn't want to launch Steamworld Dig 2, for instance, if Steamworld Dig 1 was not available to play. And it's not the fact that it's never coming, so it's not like a Metro situation where you can't play the first 2 games just because, well, they aren't ready for Stadia, or they're not even coming to Stadia, but SteamWorld Dig 1 is. So I'm just speculating and assuming that the other 2 games will follow as well. Now, I'm interested in the pricing structure. I don't have offhand how much they go for, like on the Switch. $20 seems like a normal price for something like this, so either way, 2 of these games are going to be free. I'm assuming we're going to get the other 2, but of course, time will tell. But moving on, we got Spitlings. Spitlings launched yesterday, and this is a game many people have been excited for because it has so many possible opportunities for when it comes to streaming and just creating content. And right now you're watching an overlay of when I was playing last night live with Stadia Talk, Generation Stadia, and RAF Gaming. We played online for about an hour and a half or so, and it was a lot of fun. And you'll be able to expect my review on that probably tomorrow if I get the time. I do want to give it a little more time than I normally would, so if it's not tomorrow, it might be on Friday. But Friday, I want to dedicate a little bit more to what is bigger this week, which is we just got a video, or actually this was more of a live stream yesterday, of how does Google do gaming with Jade Raymond and a couple others, and they're talking to the chat. They were talking about things with Stadia in terms of how it's been working for Google and how it is working for a company that's not a gaming company first, and someone that's trying to get into that world. And it was very interesting and very insightful, and we might talk about that more on Friday. And of course, Baldur's Gate's getting its gameplay preview finally on Thursday, and that's going to be live streamed over on the Stadia YouTube channel. So that's going to be something that a lot of people are going to be interested in. And if people are on the fence about Stadia, that game may be the one to push them over, because I do believe that is a console exclusive to Stadia first. I'm not sure if it's a PC exclusive too. I'm assuming we'll get more information on Thursday for that. I'm hoping we get a release date for that. I'm not very familiar with Baldur's Gate, to be honest, but I know the impact it has on the gaming community at large. So I'm definitely excited in that aspect and what it can do for Stadia and pushing it forward. And that is huge. So we'll probably be talking about that on Friday. And then Saturday, of course, as I mentioned before, this week on Stadia, I will be over there with Chase of Stadia Talk, filling in for Eddie of Stadia Player One. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait. We're going to be talking probably about everything I just mentioned here. Of course, Spitlings, probably the Google presentation, the Baldur's Gate coverage. I am more than sure he'll be talking about, because that is a dude that is geeked for that game. And this is the last reminder too, by the way, because in the community update, they mentioned the pro deals. Now, these aren't new pro deals, but these are kind of them finally announcing it for some reason instead of doing it beforehand. So if you have missed it, I do believe these are all, coming up off sale starting next week, about the 3rd to the 5th. So that's Borderlands 3, all 3 editions. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is coming off sale. Kind's coming off sale. NBA 2K20, all 3 versions of that. Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition and Wolfenstein Youngblood, all coming off sale. And over the last week, I've bought 3 games, all right? I bought Kine, I bought Shadow of the Tomb Raider to complete that collection, I bought Spitlings, obviously. So we're going to have plenty of new stuff to play, and the thing is, the games are starting to roll in, and it's going to be exciting. So if you've been looking for a specific game, now's going to be the time to start jumping into Stadia, because all these games are starting to get announced. Here in March, we're getting The Division 2, we're getting The Crew 2, we're getting Doom Eternal, we're probably going to get the original Doom, and I'm speculating. Obviously, we don't know too much just yet because the beta's this weekend, possibly. We might be seeing some Uplay Plus make its way over. I don't know if it's going to happen that soon, obviously, but I was kind of being hopeful and just, you know, over guessing, if you will. But that would be it for me. Of course, I will link the community blog in the description. This was a much more one take, make and bake kind of deal for me. I had a lot of time spent on that live stream, and I want to get this all out and make sure I had enough sleep for the night. So again, I want to thank everyone that happens to click on these videos and of course joins the discussion. And I just wanted to give you this information if you weren't aware. Of course, you more than likely are aware if you are following me, of course. Spitlings, $15 in the Stadia store. We're going to talk about it, if that is worth spending your money on in my Keep It or Refund It series. By the way, I probably won't be able to physically refund it because I've spent over 2 hours in the game, but I can let you know if it's something you should consider. So keep your eye on that probably tomorrow. In the meantime, like I said, get subscribed, stay up to date on everything I do, drop a like. It'll really help us out and it'll help other people find me just like you did. And as always, thank you and party on.